Hi, today I'd like to talk about something that really kind of makes me sad, but it does tie into the rabbit hole video that I just did about the rabbit hole to hell, and it is something that I want to get off my chest before I start disappointing a lot of you people, which is that unfortunately, I don't have the resources to be an answer key for you. It took many, many years for me to simply have the time to even have the resources to do these videos so that I could start educating you on how component level motherboard repair works. A lot of people have this idea about my business where I can simply solve anything because I'm God or I'm just some kind of genius, or they have the idea that I simply have a staff of people that sit at this table that will help me solve all the logic board problems that I get. That's not true. I'm the one who does all the component level repairs for my own business, from both stores that send me broken motherboards and also all the walk-in customers. And I also help with the regular repairs around here. Again, if somebody's in the bathroom, I'll even do some bullshit like an iPhone screen repair if need be. And the thing is, when I'm doing that, plus I'm making time to do marketing and make sure that we get our name out there, and I'm making the time to make these YouTube videos, and I'm making the time to manage the website and add the new mail-in website and deal with my accountant and deal with getting audited and deal with New York State licensing and deal with a class that I have to take on the weekend for something that I'll be talking about later, and deal with my landlord and deal with the fact that the fire marshal wants to fine me because of what my basement looks like. Like, when you get into all these different things that I have to do, it leaves less time for board repair than if I was just a 10-hour employee who just came in and did nothing but board repair every day. But the reality is there's a lot of other things that I'm doing with my business and with my life. Again, people wanted to know why they couldn't get a same-day board repair on Tuesday. It's because I'm the only one doing it, and on Tuesday, I spent the whole day lobbying in Albany on the right to repair bill so that you guys could probably get schematics without me having to wink and nudge you towards some website where somebody's doing some illegal shit in another country and hosting schematics that Apple doesn't want you to have. You see, I have a lot of things to do with my business. So when it comes to board repair, the way I look at it, it's not like if this is a solvable problem, I will spend 10 hours to solve it. The way I look at it is these jobs need to be done in 10 to 30 minutes or they go in the trash. It doesn't matter if it is solvable or not. It doesn't matter if I know what the problem is or not. If I cannot solve it in that time frame, it just goes in the trash. That's just the reality of the way my business works. And it's not for lack of trying. It's not because I haven't tried to get people to sit in the chair over here and help me do the things that I didn't want to do. When I figure out that something is a BGA problem, I don't want to spend 40 or 50 minutes replacing a chip and lose that momentum that I've built up. I want to simply say, okay, BGA department, do this. When I know that I need to replace 20 or 30 resistors in a bank because something really, really bad happened in this area, I don't want to waste the time doing that. I want to go, okay, I figured all this stuff out. Now let me give this off to somebody else so I don't lose my momentum. The reality is, and again, not for lack of trying, whether I'm paying, like an intern, a regular sad wage, or I'm paying a professional a wage where you could have an apartment in Manhattan and actually live here and work here, near work, and live a decent life. I can't find people for shit that do this type of work. They either want a living wage and cannot perform and cannot do half of the things that I can do myself, or they're just completely useless and like steal and again. And you can say that I'm a bad employer. You can say I'm bad at hiring people, and you know what? I'll find a way to live with that. And you may even be right. I have not found a way to standardize employees for component level board repair. I haven't found a way to standardize the employment process, the hiring process. And to be honest, I haven't really found a motivation to, because as much as I would like to be your answer key, as much as I would like to be able to say, you know what, you couldn't solve it, send it here and we'll figure it out for you, I don't have the time to, because the reality is, again, a lot of those boards, they need 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours of work. And again, no fix, no pay. That's our policy. If I can't fix it, I don't charge you. But also, again, if I know I'm going to spend 2 or 3 or 4 hours on it, you can bet your ass that no fix, no pay policy is going to have the downside of me saying, you know what, I don't want to figure it out. And that kind of makes me sad, because sometimes I really wish I did have that type of business model where I could figure these things out for you. And again, sometimes they're sent in by annoying people who act like jackasses, but a lot of the time they're sent in by really nice people, by kind people who don't really want to waste my time, who don't expect things for free, who are happy to wait. And the reality is, if I spend time on that, I'm not going to spend time on all the other things I have to spend time on. And that's not acceptable within my method of time management, and it's not acceptable within the way that I run my business. So unfortunately, I am not able to help you. And so what I'm saying here is, if you've destroyed a board, if you know you've destroyed a board, if you've replaced 10 or 20 or 30 things on it and run wires all over the place, there's a good chance that somewhere along the way you probably did something wrong. And your original problem may have been a problem that I didn't want to figure out already, but when you compound all this other crap in, I'm gonna look at this I'm gonna make 3 or 5 measurements and say, this is a rabbit hole to hell. This is a problem where I may be able to solve it, but it is not worth it. I don't have the time to chase that rabbit 2 miles down the road. I don't even have the time anymore to chase that rabbit 1 block down the road, because the return on investment is just not there. It's not practical within the way that I've set up my specific business. If I set up my business where you're paying me whether or not I fix it, if I set up my business where I had maybe 3 or 5 minimum wage employees sitting there that didn't have to think, that simply did these basic little jobs, and they were actually able to do it right, like do BGA soldering right, like replace 20 resistors in a bank right, and actually solder them where they're actually there and not like half hanging off or shorting to one another, I'd be more than happy to take on all these projects. I really would be. But the reality is that the benefit is just not there, and that the money, from the way my specific business is set up, the money is there finding these jobs where I can figure them out in 20 to 30 minutes, bang them out, and get paid for it from retail customers. It is not there to be an investigator to figure out what you did wrong. It is not there to go through a board and remove all the mistakes and then put it back up there. And it's not even there for me to do that when we do the soldering school. Because when we do the soldering school with Jessup, I'm going to be going over a lot of common faults, and I may even try to fix some of yours. But if something's a nightmare, I'm not going to spend, let's say we have 2 days of classes, I'm not going to spend 3/4 of one day working on one board that may not be solvable. That's going to be a disservice to the class, and frankly, it's a disservice to myself. So that's not something that we're going to be focusing on. So the point of this is, if you have a board and you know you've screwed it up, you know that you have fucked it beyond repair, where it's FUBAR. Again, one of my favorite music players for Windows is FOOBAR, FUBAR, and it's named kind of in a funny way after the acronym FUBAR, fucked up beyond all repair. If you feel in your heart and in your mind that something's kind of FUBAR, this is not really the place to send it to. My business model is, we are a laptop repair shop that so happens to do board repair. And because everybody else kind of sucks at board repair, we just so happen to be really damn good at it by comparison. But in terms of like any board being fixable, no matter how much you fucked it up, no matter how bad it is, no, that's not this. Again, my business model is based on, if I can figure it out in 10 to 20 minutes, I'm good. If I can't figure it out in 10 to 20 minutes, and there are some exceptions I make with BGA rework, because again, as I said, you saw the BGA rework video I did. That was a 1 hour and 40-minute video. If you take out the fact that I was doing a video and explaining everything, you can cut it in half, maybe make it 45, 50 minutes. That still goes outside of my 10 to 30-minute rule. And there are some exceptions where I do BGA rework, where I know damn well when I replace this thing, it's going to fucking work. But outside of those, I even find BGA rework to be a rabbit hole, to be 100% honest with you. And again, I'm not going to be doing it. When I get a board that looks completely corroded to shit, and somebody decided to replace a bunch of components with wires, you can't pay me enough money. You can't offer me enough. I should change it. You cannot offer me enough money within the no fix, no pay paradigm to work on that. You can't even say that I'll give you $1,000 if you can make that work again, because I know the chances of me making that work again are so low, when the chances of me making all this other stuff work again are so high that I just can't bring myself to spend money on it. So again, long story short, I appreciate all of you people that are fans. I appreciate all you people that say, I'm going to do business with him instead of somebody else. God bless you all for those positive thoughts that you have for my business. But if you have screwed up a board, if you've worked on it and fucked something up before sending it to me, just realize that, again, when I send it back to you, it's not because I want to be mean. It's not because I'm being an asshole. It's not because I hate you. It's because my business model simply doesn't allow me to spend time on it. Because if I spend time on that, I'm not going to spend time on all the other things I need to do, and all the other things I'm going to do are going to fall apart. Again, my business does not have 3 or 5 other people doing board repair. When I leave to go to Albany for a day to talk about the right to repair bill, there very much so is nobody here doing motherboard repair. And everything kind of just stacks up into a little pile. And that's that. So again, I appreciate it, but unfortunately, I cannot be an answer key. And in some cases, I cannot help you.